Hi, my name is Tom McMillan. I'm the pastor here at John Knox Presbyterian Church. When you look at the function or the purpose of our ministry, you could break it down into three different areas. We're looking at impact, being impacted by God in worship. We then impact one another through caregiving and through education. And finally, together we impact the world through our outreach, our mission, our service. Within the church, if we try to look at those three areas of being in need of growth and expansion, we could see worship. The space we have for worship is sufficient, but what if we had additional space for greater expressions of worship through prayer stations, use of a labyrinth, through concerts, through contemporary worship? How could we use that space to experience worship in a different way? With our caregiving, there's a great desire of people to gather, and there's obvious limits that we have in space. And so what if we had more space for seniors to gather together, for more potlucks, for more experiences where the congregation is connected, and in that connection we find strength, and we find fellowship, and we find encouragement. Education is a pivotal part of the church for children to be learning and discovering and having space for that discovery.
My name is Justine Tinline. I'm the director of children's ministry, and that encompasses the nursery through 6th grade, Logos, our midweek program, Vacation Bible School, and a number of things that we do in conjunction with congregational life and some other committees. One of the biggest space issues we have is a large space. Fellowship hall is often used, especially during church hours, for coffee hour and other things, so we have no access to it during Sunday school hours. And during our midweek program, we eat dinner in there, and so it's not very functional for when we'd like to play large group games and Vacation Bible School and things like that. We are limited to 2 classrooms on Sunday morning for our 1st through 6th graders, and it can get pretty crowded in there. And we're just very glad that our kids' numbers are growing, and we feel that we offer really great programs, and we could do even more with more space. We have a new curriculum. It's very hands-on. It requires a lot of supplies, and we use as well as the supplies from the classroom, basic supplies. We also use computers, we use the kitchen, and audio-visual equipment as well. So the kids really love it. It teaches them Bible truths in a hands-on, concrete manner. But it's sometimes difficult because we are limited in our space. Our opening worship is held in one of our classrooms, and then we kind of have to shut down the opening worship and get ready for what we're teaching. So we may do the best we can, but it would be great to have some more space and make the kids feel like they're an important part of the church.
My name is Kyle DeWeese, and I'm the Director of Youth Ministries here at John Knox. And when I think about the new building campaign and the potential of adding new space, I get really excited, and I know that the youth are excited also. There are a variety of different ways that we could use more space, including a large space for large indoor activities. Fellowship hall isn't always conducive to that, and we don't want to damage the property. So we'd love a place that we could play some games and kind of run around and really stretch our legs. Also, when I think about more space, I think about our increased numbers with youth group, both junior high and senior high youth group. The numbers are increasing, the youth are enjoying bringing their friends, and we're getting to the point now where if we add any other kids, it's really going to be kind of tough to do some of our large group games, some of our Bible study where we do break into smaller groups. As far as the youth ministry goes, both junior high and senior high, there's definitely a need for more space for us to continue to grow and continue to add programs and continue to accommodate the teaching and the instruction and the fellowship that happens here at John Knox.
Our junior high and senior high ministries are growing, and it pains me to know that we don't have adequate space for them. And the signal that sends is a signal I never want the church to send, that we don't have space and there's not enough room. Because kids want to invite their friends, and when we don't have sufficient space for that, we limit the outreach of our church. And for adults, what if we were to have multiple classes and seminars on raising adolescents, on science and theology, bringing in speakers to speak not just to our congregation, but if we would open it up to the communities that surround us for budgeting, for networking, for finding jobs. In other words, working in sync with our communities to see what the needs of the communities are, and then offering seminars here for those issues. Hospitality is a huge ministry within this church that has been kind of a part of our culture from our origin.
My name is Tony Flato. I chair the Evangelism and New Member Committee, and we are running out of space. We have our new member class in the library all the time because it's really the only place that we can meet that is quiet enough, and we're just simply running out of room. The last couple new member classes, we had to have people standing up. They wouldn't even fit around the table. So we really need this expansion, and I hope that you'll dig deep and help us all out.
My name is Jessie McMillan. I'm a parish associate at John Knox. When I think about the possibilities of growth within John Knox, I first think of the growth I've already seen in the last few years. I see a growth in discipleship. I see more people who want to study the Bible, who want to think about their lives, whether it's parenting or marriage or old age, in light of God's guidance for them, and who want to study spiritual topics with other people. I see more of a willingness to do that. I see an openness to a diversity of thought, which to me says that we could be offering classes on a variety of subjects we're not currently offering because people want to explore their faith and explore different aspects of their life and are curious. I think people are smart here, and I think they're caring, and I think there's no end to what could be done in terms of learning and discipleship.
We do have a need for more storage. We try to keep our classrooms kind of pared down just to the bare essentials because so many other groups use them, and we're delighted that so many outside groups use our church because it teaches the kids that the church is not just these four walls, but it reaches out into the community.
We open our doors to community groups, and yet we see a lot of churches in our surrounding areas that are closing. And these groups have need of an open, welcoming space. And I'd love to see John Knox continue and even grow in our ministry of hospitality.
One of the challenges we face, tonight's a good example, it's the first night of Lenten Nights. We have 4 classes. 3 of those classes are between 25 and 40 people, and we need to find spaces for them. We have one really good space for one class. We have 2 classes that will be scrunched in space that really isn't adequate, but is what we have. I'm not sure what we do if we had more people in each of those classes. I think if we don't increase space, we may have to go to just fewer classes with more people in them and teaching in the sanctuary, which is a difficult place to teach because it's so large.
John Knox each year sends about 6 different teams into mission, to Appalachia, to Tennessee, this year to South Dakota with our senior hires, to Gulfport, to Guatemala, to Nicaragua. All these chances to kind of move out to our Cleveland area with our days of service. It's significant what we are doing as we move from these walls out into the world. But to get people ready to prepare those teams, we need space. To prepare these teams, to gather them together, also to kind of inform other churches within our presbytery of how this work is done. So we're seeing the need of John Knox to become more than just simply a place where people have their needs met. And we can become a training ground for other churches, for people in our communities, to learn the faith, to discover it, and to experience how they are impacted by God and can impact their world with the gospel of Christ. All right.